So you may be asking yourself, how's our new stadium coming along? Well, if you're a football fan, you'll be happy to know they are making real progress on the East Bank. And that's where News Channel 5's Dana Kaye is standing by. And how does it look, Dana?
This is a hard hat area, Chris. Most of the stadium construction site is. And PSL owners will be happy to see they're still working tonight. What they're doing right now is pouring concrete. This is actually forming the basement floor of the stadium. Now, they've been working late almost every night, till dark at least, getting ready for this project. Well, they know it's very important that they have this stadium done in time for the Oilers' 1999 football season. Right now, it just looks like a big hole. Lots of heavy machinery, dirt, and metal. Amid this chaos, there is a plan, the beginnings of a professional football stadium. You just have to see the big picture level. I'm standing in what will be the commissary. Now, this is a very critical part of the construction because this entire basement will be the foundation to hold up the rest of the stadium. Almost 400 steel pilings have been hammered into the ground. They reach 20 to 60 feet through earth to bedrock.
The pilings, like I say, transfer the load of the building down to the natural rock formations. So this is basically the footing of the building right here we're standing in.
This huge area is only half of the full-size stadium. They will begin digging the other half in a few months. Contractors say their job is to build it sturdy and on schedule.
They should be able to play football here in 1999, first game. We'll be on schedule, we'll be complete.
Now, what you're looking at is the southwest part of the stadium. Right where that crane is going to be the very first elevated part of the stadium that will be going up next week. Now, that's going to be something you'll be able to see as you drive by on the interstate, so it should make everybody feel a little bit better that, yes, things are progressing. Something you'll be able to see, Chris.
Now, for PSL buyers, are there any PSLs in that area?
As a matter of fact, there are. The more expensive PSLs are in that area. That's because that's the club level of the stadium. That's where a lot of the suites are going to be, and the restaurant. It's also where the press area will be, so we'll have a home, one of the first ones to have a home, Chris.
Yeah, I'm sure that's for the sports guys. Maybe they'll let us visit every once in a while, right, Dana?
Yeah, that's right. Maybe if we beg.
Okay, thanks, Dana. Well, the Nashville Arena is attracting...
Be able to see as you drive.
Move the sleeve up and down gently. Don't fling it.
The trainers asked if I'd like to play the part of a criminal on the run and see firsthand why these dogs are so effective.
I feel safe trying this because they tell me the dogs are so well trained that if a suspect gives up peaceably, the dog will stand there and guard him until the police officer arrives to make the arrest. But if a suspect resists, the dog will attack until the police officer gives him the command to stop. So that's pretty intimidating. Even though you know he's going to obey your commands, it's pretty intimidating to have that dog there loose. Yeah, it does. It keeps the bad guy's mind on the dog instead of on the officer.
Right. That's the whole...
Foreman left the press conference victorious, but he was taken by surprise when this reporter shook his hand in congratulations.
I always wanted to see how strong you were.
Okay, I give.
They say I'm tough, but I think you're tougher. This shoot, don't shoot exercise is just a training situation. But what they're trying to stress is that one day it could be real people and not just targets that they're shooting at.
Here we go. Look left. Recognize.
That's a police officer, I think. I see a badge. I just shot a guy with a newspaper, didn't I? It's tough. It's really tough to recognize in a situation when you just walk in like that.
Once I knew what I was up against, I wanted to run the course again in another room filled with targets.
One more doorway to check, and obviously if somebody's going to be hiding in here, that would be a perfect place to hide. Down low.
You kill guys with that target there. If you don't get him, he's going to get you.
And I got him.
Our Eyewitness News reporter Dana Kaye begins a special report, Don't Talk to Strangers. And Dana, it was quite a disturbing experience, wasn't it?
And I can tell you, Andrea and Ed, as a parent, it's enough to absolutely scare you to death. Now, we enlisted the help of East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff Sergeant Dale DeCherry to test children, to see how many would go with a stranger. Most parents have warned their children about strangers. So I didn't expect what happened when Sergeant Dale DeCherry approached my 4-year-old daughter.
Hey, baby, have you seen my little doggy? Can you see? Look at the picture. You might have seen him. His name is Fluffy.
Now, Alden's only 4 years old, so I have no idea what she'll do. I have told her not to talk to strangers, number one, and certainly never to go with one, that if somebody ever tried to get her to come with them, to say no, and I'm going to tell my mommy, and then come run find me and tell me. But if there's a little puppy involved, she just might do it.
Come see the picture. It's a better picture. You can see the picture better. Look, you can hold
I can't believe she's going up to the car.
Will you help me find the doggy? You know, it's going to be real cold tonight, and I don't want him to be outside by himself. Would you help me find him?
But she's saying no.
We're just going to go around the corner, and we'll come right back if you help me find it, because I can't drive and look for the dog. You can hold the picture. Okay, come on. You can hold the picture. Here. Huh? Your mama said it'd be all right.
Stay right there. So I have to go ask. Stay right there.
Well, come help me, baby. Come help me find my little puppy. He's going to be cold tonight. Please come help me find him. We'll be right
Now she's going back. Oh, my gosh.
I'm Mr. Dale. You know? Won't you come help me?
She can't decide. But she's so close, he could have just grabbed her in the car, actually.
You sure are pretty. How old are you?
I'm 4.
You're 4. You're big. You're pretty for 4.
Thanks.
I know.
You like my shirt?
Yeah, I love your little jumpsuit. He won't even know you're gone. We'll be right back. We'll go real fast and come back, okay? And you can hold the picture,
she's
okay?
actually doing
Come on. We'll buckle up.
Mama.
Huh? Oh, that's my...
There she goes.
You want to play with that? You can hold that. Come on. Come on, we'll get in real quick. And we'll be right back.
Oh, that's enough to scare you to death.
So we see we find Fluffy. Here, you can sit right up here and see if you can find Fluffy, huh? Okay, so here's Fluffy.
Here, Fluffy.
Say here, Fluffy.
Here,
Say here,
Fluffy.
See if you can find Fluffy. Say here, Fluffy.
Still makes my heart stop. You know, what we found is under 6 years old, it's almost impossible for kids to protect themselves because they really don't understand the concept of good and evil. So parents do shoulder most of that responsibility.
It happens every day. It's scary.
What can we do? What can we do as parents? I have a little girl that's just a few months older than yours.
I know you do, and I thought about you when I was doing this series, Andrea. Experts say you should begin telling your children about strangers around age 3 and play what-if games with them to alert them to different scenarios child abductors may try. But until age 6, you have to protect them. We'll show you some ways to teach your children about strangers and safety tonight on the Night Desk. And we want you to, by the way, pick up this flyer. It has a list of safety tips for parents and children. It's from the Parenting Center, and it's available at those offices on Revere Avenue or at the customer information booth at Cortana Mall. And here, Andrea, you can take it home and work with it tonight.
See how flushed my face is?
Yes.
That makes me very nervous.
The child was actually calling for Fluffy.
She thought she was looking for a dog. She wanted to help. All
I hope you
kids want
explained
to
this
help.
to her after it was over with.
I certainly did. We had a long talk.
Dana, this is good. More tomorrow at 6?
More at 6 tomorrow.
All right.
They come in the mail. They're on the internet and milk cartons. Pictures of missing kids. Behind every picture, there's a real child. But if you see a picture of a missing child, how closely do you really look at it?
I'm sure that the majority of people really don't look at these posters. It's a sad scenario, but I believe that's it.
We tested that premise. We created a missing poster with the picture of a child actress. We put it on the front door of a Bellevue grocery store and had the child sit 10 feet away from the poster.
Yeah, to see if anybody would ignore it or try to do it.
And then we watched what happened. We counted 77 people who walked right by the poster. Most didn't even look at it, but more than a dozen did. Several people even talked to the child.
Kristen?
But they kept walking. Others seemed to look right at the poster, then the child, but kept going. Beverly Anderson did.
And I saw her sitting there and it looked like she was cold, and I looked up there and I saw that and I said, that's just like that little girl laying over there. So busy, walked right on in the store, got what I had to have, and came right on back out.
But of all the people that walked past the poster, not everyone kept walking.
This little girl, that's her.
Ah, is it?
Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah. I'm going to call right now.
Stacy Gorski made the connection and tried to take action.
And I ripped it off right then and went and called. I knew it was her. I mean, you can just tell that that's who it was. And I'm trembling right now. I'm shaking. I was on the phone with the Missing Children's Location Center.
Every 40 seconds, a child disappears in our nation.
Stacy did the right thing, according to Billy Hale. He volunteers for the Missing Children's Locate Center, helping families look for missing kids.
This one's been found.
He says the only way he can help a family find a missing child is if you help him.
They need to just slow down their busy life enough to look at the picture. People can remember the way that somebody looks better than they can remember a name. All you have to do is make an anonymous call. You might save a child's life.
But we're all so busy. We've seen so many pictures of so many missing kids, we just stop looking at them. We walk on by because we think we can't be the ones to help. But this experiment sure made some people think differently.
No, there's no mistaking that that's who that was, and I was willing to take a chance that that's who it was.
I wished I'd said something to her now.
For as me, I feel like take a little more interest, take a little more time. They are our future, they are our responsibility, and that's what we need to do.
First, though, let's get an update on our news and our weather. Sitting in for Vicki Yates right now is Dana Kaye.
Thanks a lot, Meryl. Police have made their first arrest in Monday night's shootout at Tennessee State University. 22-year-old Antoine Hester is accused of murdering former TSU student Ryan Anderson. Police say the two men had gone to a men's dormitory to buy drugs. That's when the shooting started. Meanwhile, students and staff at TSU gathered last night for a candlelight vigil. The TSU president says they'll overcome this tragedy together, and they've taken a vow to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Let us bond together and be accountable and responsible for our actions as well as the actions of our fellow students.
Police are still looking for two people who were in the dorm room at the time but ran away after the shooting. Construction on downtown's NASCAR Cafe could be back on again soon. Today, NES officials and representatives for the restaurant will announce their plans for the business and give an update on the transformer explosion. The explosion happened earlier this month. One person died and two others were sent to the hospital with severe burns over most of their bodies. An early morning fire is giving all Tennesseans a reminder. Get ready for Old Man Winter. It happened at this house on Cephas Street. Fire officials say the blaze started when a blanket that was left too close to a heater caught fire. Fire crews say they see this type of blaze all the time, and this time of the year it's worse, especially when it turns cold outside.
It got cold enough last night for it to kick in, and that's generally what happens. We find it a lot. Space heaters, you know, the wall heaters that are there, might have a chair put to the back to it. It's been there all summer long.
Metro Fire Department officials say there are ways to prevent this tragedy from happening to you. First, make sure all rugs, blankets, and other items are moved away from heaters and vents. And make sure you double check the temperatures on your heaters because they could be turned up much higher than you really think. Health experts are sounding the warning call about heart disease and women in the U.S. They say heart disease is still the leading cause of death among American women and could reach epidemic proportions as the population ages. According to a new report in the British Medical Journal, 1 in 3 older women in the U.S. show signs of the disease, and they're 10 times more likely to die from heart disease than from breast cancer. Did you know going to church may be as good for your body as it is for your soul? Results from a surprising new study tonight at 5. Plus, if you're interested in leasing a car instead of buying, there are some changes on the way that will make it easier for you to get what you want. And it's here from the same people who predicted last year's Tickle Me Elmo craze, the list of the toys your kids will be crying for this year. That's coming up tonight at 5. And finally, we'd like to introduce you to a very special cheerleader.
No, Mila's not the typical cheerleader. She doesn't wear an outfit or do backflips. She does, however, cheer on her favorite football team, the Carolina Panthers.
Go, Lamar, go! Go, Panthers, go! Go, Panthers, go! Yay!
Mila is a 3-year-old African gray parrot that loves linebacker Lamar Latham. But that's not all. Mila loves soda. Just listen. Go Mila. Well, now let's go to Joe and a look at our weather.
Well, let's go take a look and see how we're faring outside right now after a little bit.
Once in a while, a story comes along that's so touching, it can warm the heart of just about anyone. Well, tonight, my friends, we have found one. It's the story of a dog who's so devoted, she travels many miles every single day just to be near her little boy. News Channel 5's Dana Kaye reports from the Rutherford County town of Eagleville.
My dog.
Corey had a little dog. His spots were black as coal, and everywhere that Corey went, the dog was sure to go. He followed him to school each day, which was against the rules. It made the teachers laugh and play to see a dog at school. A teacher here at Eagleville School wrote this poem, a takeoff of a nursery rhyme that has actually come to life in this small town.
Rain or shine, the dog will run to school.
She's pretty protective over Corey. I think that's why she follows the bus, because she figures she's protecting him by coming to school.
Nikki the dog belongs to Corey and his older brother and sister. They say Nikki started following their bus to school when Corey started kindergarten.
Well, there's nobody to protect at home, so she comes to school and she protects us and she gets some attention in the process.
It shows the loyalty the dog has to the family, especially the children.
When Corey goes inside to class, Nikki waits patiently right outside the door. She's become the school's unofficial mascot.
He never does anything that scares the children, and so they just like him. You know, they know he's Corey's. And
while Corey naps, Nikki waits until it's time to go home. And then the chase is on. 7 miles for this homeward bound dog. Frequent stops to let other kids off give Nikki a chance to catch up.
I have been driving the bus for 9 years and I've never experienced this ever. This is the first for all of us.
The kids arrive home a few minutes before Nikki, and then they wait for their determined, devoted, loyal protector.
I like my dog. She's beautiful. I love her so much.
Dana Kaye, News Channel 5.
The children told us they've only had Nikki a couple of years. Their parents allowed them to keep her after she followed the older boy home one day and no one ever claimed her. Is that not the cutest thing?
That is the cutest story.
Oh, yeah. Brother.
I've used that excuse when I was a kid, too. The dog followed me home. Honestly, Mom.
And Mom said, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Well, if a picture says 1,000 words, then a wall at Nash Farm.
I'm Dana Kaye. From the small town of Eagleville, I'll have a story of love and devotion between a boy and his dog that the world hasn't seen since Timmy and Lassie.
Injuries.
Remember Nikki, the devoted dog who follows her master's bus to and from school? Well, she got a visit today from all 4 national networks. So we sent Dana Kaye back to the town of Eagleville to see how people and the dog are dealing with newfound fame.
Jolene, how did all this get started? How did Nikki begin to run behind the school bus following you to school?
Ever since we showed these pictures of Nikki, the devoted dog, following her children's school bus, Eagleville School has been swamped with calls from local and national news.
I mean, everybody has picked up on it. Rosie O'Donnell's show has called today. CNN has been here. TNN, Channel 5, everybody.
All to tell the story of 5-year-old Corey and his loyal dog.
She's beautiful. I love her so much.
It was just a total media blitz when we got here this morning. There was camera crews following the bus, in front of the bus, behind the bus, on the bus. And, you know, and Nikki was doing her usual thing, following along beside them.
We had a student come in and say, you know, Miss Sheila, this is really something. He said, you've either got to be bad or be a dog to be on TV.
Good girl, good girl. For her part, Nikki doesn't seem to be the least bit affected by all the publicity. It didn't keep her away or make her ornery, but some wonder how long, with all the attention, she can stay this unassuming and humble.
Smart dog.
Bill Waters and his son own the local diner where Nicky the dog was all the buzz.
Maybe it will put Eagleville on the map. We'll see.
I say he'll probably be wealthy in another 90 days. He'll probably be making gravy train commercials or something.
I've seen him on the news. Yeah, I did too. I saw Corey and him.
But the only attention Nicky seems to care about is from Corey and his classmates.
I just don't know how they bought this dog.
But I guess people are just so hungry for something that's, you know, the sweet innocence of today's America.
Now, Corey started following the school bus last August when 5-year-old Corey started to kindergarten. Nicky runs 7 miles every day to and from school. That's 14 miles a day, quite a trek. And they say that they don't think that he will ever stop doing this, Vicki.
Now, Dana, we've had several callers who are worried that maybe Nicky's going to be hit by a car. It did look a little dangerous.
Well, they've tried to stop him. As a matter of fact, they tried at one point. The parents and school officials are both worried about the same thing. They tried to tie him up, but he slipped free of the noose. Then they also tried to get him to ride on the bus. They got special permission for the dog to ride on the bus, but he wouldn't get on the bus. He doesn't like to ride inside moving vehicles. He only wants to chase that school bus. They're examining their options, though, now.
All right. Thanks very much, Dana. Still a great story.
You know, I think that lady that we interviewed had people just dying for something innocent and sweet, and that is just a terrific story.
Tired of the blood and guts.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? And I hope he gets an Alpo contract and makes a ton of money.
We can say we knew him when.
Well, we are his agents, actually. If you're watching Alpo, contact us first,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Right, sure. Okay, it's got to be the last thing that criminals want to have happen if they're staring down police.
Up next, the story of the suspect who